At the heart of every college marketing plan, there is the aim for a perfect college website. But how do you get the perfect college website? Like these double helix stairways, college websites are extremely complex. For over 25 years, I've worked with more than 100 providers and end users, and indeed have been an end user myself of the services of colleges and training providers. This experience has led me to project manage a number of college websites, not just conventional websites, but highly responsive websites. By responsive, I mean those that will respond to the device on which they're being viewed. So it doesn't matter if someone uses an iPad, a BlackBerry, some other mobile device, they will see the perfect website each and every time. You see, I don't believe it's necessary to develop separate mobile websites. They can be done as a single project. Mobile websites should now be part and parcel of your existing website without any additionality. Before we go on to that, let's just first of all think about the purpose of your website. Of course, we want a website that looks great, but over and above that, it should be functional and actually deliver what you and the visitor to the website wants. It should inform the visitor. It should support the marketing campaigns, both traditional and digital, that you are building. It should be easy to be found on the search engines. And of course, Google in the UK is the biggest search engine there is. But as we increasingly develop our marketing into other countries, we should also think about whether we can be found on maybe Yandex in Russia or Baidu in China. This can be done with your existing website if you think and carefully plan before actually building the site. Your website should be designed around your marketing goals and goals for that website in particular. And of course, in the final analysis, your website's almost bound to be built to recruit new students. This would be easy if all you had were a single website and no other marketing. But we need to combine both traditional and digital marketing in one seamless way that would deliver a good customer experience to our prospects and existing customers. Our website needs to be friendly. By that I mean personable. So many college websites are just that. They represent a college in a faceless sort of way. I know from talking to end users that they respond far better to a site where it's almost like having a chat with a friend. A friendly site where it's obvious who the principal is. It's ideal if we can show, as one or two colleges now do, some of the staff and the areas they're responsible for. In one case, I can think of a college where they actually have the staff names, their telephone number, and their email address on the site. This means this is a college that's really approachable, and the website demonstrates that. We need to keep our costs down, obviously. There's no point in putting numerous gimmicks and gizmos on a website just to make it look technically more adept, where we can in actual fact now develop websites at very, very low cost. Recent sites I've worked with have cost anything from £40,000 for a really highly responsive Drupal 7 based website, down to a very low cost site developed on WordPress that in actual fact works extremely well. They need to be fast loading, as load times are now important for SEO, but this isn't needed just from an SEO point of view because, again, thinking customer experience, it's all about how easy and fast it is for the visitor to the website to move around that site and find the information that they require. And as I said earlier, websites today need to be responsive to all the devices they're like to be viewed on. But we need to make it easy. In the same way that we know 2 and 2 equals 4 and 2 plus 3 equals 5, intuitively, instinctively, our websites need to be intuitive and easy to use. That means that not only does the navigation need to be intuitive, but we should be able to find everything we want without having to think. There needs to be a search facility on the website, and in many cases colleges have these, but they only search for college courses, whereas I would propose that a whole site search facility is much more useful to the end user. We need to put all our course details on there, and these of course should be integrated across into our printed prospectuses, adverts, etc. So I would propose that the website becomes the one version of the truth, that the content management system on the website stores your course details, and these can be exported then into the MIS system, etc., etc. Whether or not this is based on the website, or indeed you use MIS information that imports into the website, you do need a single source of information that everything else feeds off of. Gone are the days now, I believe, where we can have one version for the prospectus, one version for the website, one version in MIS, because with that, chaos ensues. When people visit a website, they need very often to contact you to ask further questions. That almost indicates the website's not perfect, but by analysing those questions, we can then perfect our website. But if we wish people to contact us, and our chosen method is the phone, as it is in many colleges, then we need to make it easy to find a phone number. For me, I believe the phone number should be in the top right-hand corner on every single page of your website. Again, those websites where you have to click on contact, go to the contact page, which takes several seconds to load, then scroll down to find the right telephone number. They, for me, are not ideal. They're not the perfect college website, as they make it really difficult for the website visitor to find what they want and communicate with you. As I said earlier, our mantra should be, don't make me think. Our website should be intuitive and easy to navigate. Our college website should also follow a principle that the major retailers such as supermarkets use. They divide everything up into sections. You find it's quite logical. There are food sections, grocery sections, newspaper sections, you name it, retailers have them. And our college website should be built in much the same way. Each of these sections should be given a location on the site. By doing this, we no longer need separate websites for, say, employer engagement, because everything can go onto the main college website using one content management system, one analytics system, and our life is so much easier, as is the life of our website visitors. But of course, each section should have quality content. And to make it easy for people to find this quality content in logical sections, we can think of our website as being a number of microsites under a common home page. Of course, not everyone will visit your home page direct, because when they search on a search engine for business courses in the city or town where you're based, the ideal situation is then they can actually click onto that search result and go direct through that part of your website, that section of your website, to which their inquiry relates. It is easy to buy separate web addresses, separate URLs that can be pointed at different parts of your website, therefore enabling us to have a number of microsites in a main college site. That also requires us to think about logical links between the sections of our website, and of course, internal links are an important part of SEO. As mentioned earlier, some college websites have a search facility that only interrogates the course database. I believe the ideal perfect college website would allow you to search throughout the site from one search button. And I say this after having interviewed hundreds of people using college websites. This is what they find provides them with the best customer experience. One of the major complaints I get from the people I've interviewed is that college websites tend not to use plain English. They use academic jargon. And of course, we know that the website should be there to communicate with our customers, and we know that our customers are not, by and large, academics, and therefore don't necessarily understand the type of language we use when talking amongst ourselves. For example, we'll talk about level 3, level 4 courses, but the average young person, the average parent, and the average employer doesn't really understand levels. If they go to a search engine and look for a plumbing course, that's exactly what they'll do. They won't look necessarily for a level 2 or a level 3 plumbing course. They'll look for plumbing courses in their vicinity. Therefore, if you could buy a URL for plumbing in my town, you're well on the way to actually being found by these people. And because people want to talk English and not jargon, some way of them actually contacting the college instantly to have all their questions answered is ideal. We've already mentioned telephones and the need to put the telephone number in the top right-hand corner or somewhere else obvious. But more and more people now want to be able to click onto that to actually make a call from a mobile, or ideally be able to type a question in to a piece of software on the website where they can get instant contact from your help desk, switchboard, or other area of the college that can give them answers there and then. The piece of software I recommend for this is called Pubble, and if you want more information about Pubble, we do have a separate Pubble video for you to watch. My inbox is inundated every day with people offering to perform SEO on my website. But for me, this is unnecessary. SEO is actually quite a basic function, one that you carry out each and every time you design and publish a new page on the website. Therefore, I'm a great believer in do-it-yourself SEO. Think in terms, to begin with, of the customer experience. What is it that the customer is looking for, and how can we portray that in a very succinct way to that visitor on our website, and indeed on the search engines where they may be going before visiting our websites? We should remember first and foremost that in SEO terms, search engines like Google do not index websites. They actually index pages on websites, not the sites per se. That means that every page should be totally individual and distinct from every other page. It's quite simple to do this, and it's a mistake I see quite often on both commercial and education websites. For example, the description meta tag will appear to be the same on every page of the website. That's a bit like going into the library and finding that the cover of every book has got the same title on it, or indeed is left blank. Every page needs an individual, distinct meta tag descriptor. The meta tag descriptor indeed is very important in terms not only of the search engine, but of the individual who visits the search engine results page. The descriptor tag provides that information that appears on the search engine results. At that stage, you're not talking to the Google spider, you're then talking to people. So whatever they see and read there must be an advert, effectively, that would drive people to your website. I also mentioned links earlier, links within the site to go to other sections or other pages of the site. Google uses these to rank results on the search engine result page. It also uses incoming links, links from other websites into yours. They're effectively a vote of confidence, rather like a like on social media, but much more powerful. And finally, of course, the key to good SEO is to write really good, succinct content for each and every page on your website. Let's now move on to the content management system. This is a piece of software you use to build and publish each page on your website. In the most successful websites I've developed, we've given staff, not just the marketing staff, but curriculum and support staff, access to the college content management system. This means that staff in, say, the art curriculum area can actually write their own copy for new courses. In the past, we've often done this by sending them bits of paper which they've handwritten on, then sent back for us to develop the prospectus or to be typed back into the website. By giving staff access, it gives them some ownership of marketing, cuts down on the amount of work they need to do, and therefore the amount of work that marketing staff also need to carry out. Now, the biggest concern here, of course, is that marketing lose control of what's put on the website, but that needn't be the case. You can use a moderation system whereby a member of staff, perhaps the team leader, writes new course copy. As soon as they submit that, it automatically goes to the head of curriculum, who checks it over. If they're happy with it, they click on the button and automatically it goes to marketing, who can then do a final review, and if they're happy, press the button and publish that content. In the old days, using pen and paper and internal mail, this process could take weeks. Today, it can take a matter of minutes. Of course, when choosing a CMS system, it's important to use one that's easy to use, that will publish photographs, add videos, add audio, as well as just ordinary written content. And once we've chosen the CMS system, we then need to provide training for the staff that we use it. Whether we're thinking marketing plan or website, of course, we need to be thinking in terms of targets, objectives, goals, and conversion rate of that marketing. Our strategic target should develop out of the college's business plan, and we can have many objectives for the college website. These may be things like downloads of the prospectus, or indeed things like the completion and submission of an application form. Whatever we choose, we then need to set up goals and sales funnels to those goals within our chosen analytics program. I mentioned earlier conversion rate. We're unlikely ever to convert 100% of our visitors to applications, but we should be looking at how each page converts into our objectives and goals, how we can enhance that, and for this I believe you need a software system such as Google Analytics. The reason I choose Analytics is it's extremely thorough, it's accessible by all staff on the web, and it's free. One of the things I find that prevents many college websites from becoming perfect is that the web designer and web manager frequently forget up to 50% of their audience. Only a few weeks ago I was talking to a web manager, and when I asked them who their target audience was, they talked to me extensively about the 14 to 19-year-old market, and when I prompted them about employers, they said they weren't terribly important to the college. It was only when I pointed out that between 40 and 50% of the college's income came from employers that the penny dropped and made them realise that their website needed to be targeting a much wider audience. This is the reason that I recommend having separate sections within the college website for those different audiences. The other thing we should remember is that our audience is actually the people visiting the website and not the staff. Of course, we don't want to upset our staff, but we should be looking at the statistics being produced by website visitors and not listening to the opinions of staff that aren't supported by evidence. A big mistake you don't want to be making is not checking your analytics. Now, I suggested Google Analytics as being the ideal software package because it is very, very easy to use and access via the web. Okay, so I've given you some indicators of what makes a perfect college website. Now it's over to you. What's your next move? If you would like a strategy meeting where we can discuss your existing traditional and digital strategies, or if you'd like your teams to be trained in marketing, each year I run a number of open courses for education conference providers across the UK. I also come into colleges and do internal training sessions. For example, I'll come in and spend a whole day with your marketing team where we'll look at all the new developments in marketing, or indeed to help your team understand all aspects of marketing. We run a one-day course that goes through everything from traditional to digital marketing, where we take an overview that helps each member of the team understand where they fit in your overall marketing strategy. We also run a number of mentoring programs, both for managers and directors that aspire to greater things, and for lower level staff that want to take their first steps onto the management ladder. So, if we can help you with your next step, please make contact with me now. You can find my details on the providermastermind.com site, on our other education websites, or indeed through LinkedIn. I look forward to hearing from you.